Hello everybody. I was just looking, I'm actually glowing. It's that hot here. It's actually almost like a summer. It's really, really strange. If you're in the UK, you know all too well what the weather's actually been like. If you're not, it's been hot one minute and then it's like autumn the next minute. It's really, really strange. I wrote a blog post recently. It's a bit controversial, but it's been very, very well read and a lot of comments on it. And the purpose of me writing the blogs that I do and the posts that I put out, number one, is so that you don't stay stuck in your pain. I'm not going to help anybody to stay wallowing in their own mud. And sometimes things need to be said to shift out of mindsets that, quite frankly, have been set up from people in Empathland. In the internet world, the message out there is very disempowering in a lot of ways and not true. So I'm here to sort of like give you a different point of view, so that you're not feeling fearful, because a lot of the fear you experience from being an empath is the messages that you've been receiving, probably unconsciously. It just goes in. We can't help but read what we see and then absorb it to some level. Some stuff you really don't want to be absorbing as the truth. So this is what I'm here to do. Now this blog that I wrote, I'm going to read to you. This is if you haven't had the urge to go over and read it and you prefer to listen instead. So I'm going to tell you a story. Or I'm going to read my blog anyway. And the title of this blog is "When is a narcissist not a narcissist?" My answer in the first line of my blog is when they're really just a human being who, quite frankly, has the capability of being a dickhead. Before we start, I'm not saying here that narcissists don't exist. And I'm also not saying that you're not with one at the moment, or that you've had the unfortunate experience of several in your life. This is totally possible. I'm here to address a really important point, and one that is so popular in Empathland, the one in the virtual world online, that it has got, quite frankly, ridiculous, and it's upsetting me. It's one that drives me mad, because people can't help but take on board what they read as facts, which is what I was just saying. I've repeated myself in the blog. Empaths who are seeking help end up believing some really horrible stuff that they could actually start to seek out in their life. When you believe something, you could end up starting to seek it. Unconscious stuff can have you looking for the proof of a belief that you have. I know the mind has this capacity. It's a really, really fascinating thing that the mind does to help you believe your beliefs. So people who are looking for help could actually end up looking for narcissists without realising it. You can end up believing that you always attract toxic people, or you always attract narcissists. You've got to be careful what you're asking for, because it's just not true. Not everyone who is labelled as a narcissist is actually this way at all. Human beings can act in horrible ways. So can you. It's a human thing. But this is a label that's based on incorrect information the majority of the time. I'm an empath. I've never attracted narcissists or toxic people. So the belief out there can't be true, because it doesn't apply to everybody. And if it doesn't apply to one person, then we need to be questioning the belief in the first place. Now, in my blog, I said I've had my fair share of horrible behaviour though. And no doubt, as I have dished out my own share of humanness through pain responses, it's a human thing. You may have heard a saying that goes something like, what you see in others is also in you. We don't want to hear that though, do we? It's not a nice thought, but we all do have the capacity to choose behaviour that's not so good. It's a fact. Does that make you a narcissist? No. It makes you human. I really wanted to emphasise in this blog that this is not to diminish the effect of being with a narcissist. I want to make that clear. If this is your experience or has been, the effects are real, and I'm not wanting you to think that you have behaved in the same way as them. The reflection of this for you is probably more about a need to build yourself up so that you don't allow this in your life rather than you're like them. But I want to encourage you to move away from this generalisation that all bad behaviour gets this label as narcissist. This is to reiterate the important point I made before. Empaths do not attract narcissists or toxic people. Human beings can. So this could be a pattern in your life, but it's not from being an empath. If this is something that keeps happening to you, it's due to some other stuff that you've got going on that can be resolved. It doesn't have to be something that continues in your life, and you can absolutely recover from that. You're never ever broken to the point that you can't just put yourself back together and move on with your life in a very, very positive way. That's another message that's out there, and people like to buy into this pain cycle of being stuck because of something that's happened. I would really recommend, if that's you, to sort it in spite of what's happened and to not allow yourself to suffer anymore. Reach out and get the help that you need, because you can absolutely recover from that. Because if there is a repeating pattern in your life, the time to look inside is now, and you make those changes. You've probably seen on the page I've got the Empowerment Project coming soon. I can't help but mention it because it's so transformational. So keep an eye out on the page. This is really for you, to help you to find your wings, become the superpower that you really are, and take off all those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Keep an eye out on the page. It's coming very, very soon. But I just wanted to read this blog to you, just in case if you're a listener rather than a reader, because not everybody wants to go and read a blog, because I think it's a really, really important point to make. Empaths can feel very afraid unconsciously if they think that there's something about them that's attracting horrible people. What a horrible way to live. When you break it down like that, that thought is really, really fear-inducing, make people afraid, and I don't want that for you. It's not true. Not everybody who's labelled a narcissist is a narcissist, and empaths do not attract narcissists. I hope you find that useful. I'm always glad to receive your comments. Please, let me know what you think. I've had a lot of comments, when I've posted this up as a blog before. A lot of people finding it more empowering to think of it in this way. This is what I'm here to do, to help you to feel better and to unravel all the stuff that's out there that's been plastered around without people realising the negative effects it can have on people. Words are very, very powerful and can have an effect on you. So I'm a great believer in looking at beliefs and breaking them down, and if it's hurting you, then it needs to go. So let me know if you've got any comments. I'd love to hear from you. As always, I'm here to help and support. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.